I've been a facilitator for almost 20 years of an in-person group that meets here in New Jersey. And I'm sure we can discuss some ways that get your group started, keep it going. I'll give you the insights, some help, and some of the pitfalls to avoid when trying to put a group together. That way, hopefully, we'll be able to help a lot of people with CRPS. You'd like to start a support group. Great. You have to start someplace. Start at the beginning. Get some help if you can. Find a place. Be consistent. Set up a few guidelines. These will help you. A lot of times starting your own support group is tough. You start on your own. One of the best things you can do is get a team behind you. Find somebody within the group who's willing to help you. It doesn't have to be a lot. Just somebody you can talk to, relate with. Somebody, if you're not feeling well and something has to be done, they can help you keep this going. Because once you keep this going, people start depending on you to keep it going. They need that support. They need that help. You need that help. And you're only going to get it if you can keep this running. So try to do teamwork aspect. When I started my group back in 1997, it all originated because I went to a support group that was god-awful. I walked out depressed. It was uninformative. There wasn't anything for me. And I said, without knowing anything, I could probably do better. It doesn't take a lot to start one. It just takes a simple plan. Where do you want to meet? When do you want to meet? What do you want to accomplish at the meeting? How long do you want your meetings to be? Do you want to have speakers? Do you just want to have open discussions? Do you want to do advocacy work? These are all things you should think of before you start your meetings so that you know what steps you need to take to make these things happen. With setting up guidelines, it avoids a lot of misunderstandings as things go along. People come emotional, upset. They need help. They need support. They need information. They want you to make them better, and they think the support group is going to do that. In some ways, it definitely can. It offers support, emotional. It informs them how to take care of things, how to get through the day. But you also have to understand they're emotional. You have to be able to deal with that with the group. Rules, some regulations, and guidelines. And I'm not saying they have to be very tough, but we have one. You check it at the door. When we walk in this room, we're all equal. No one is worse than the other. No one is better than the other. We're all entitled to tell our story. We do set a time limit so that no one can take up their own time, too much time for everybody else. We do make sure we have name tags so everybody can remember who comes. There are times people may come once. They may not come for 2 years. Don't get upset when somebody doesn't come back. Check on them. See how they're doing. The distance may be too far. Maybe they can't drive at night. There's a lot of different issues when you set up a group that you have to consider. One of the biggest things is being organized. Finding a place to meet. Consistency, the same place, same time every month. If people have to hunt you down where your meeting is, they're not going to come. They're not going to get help they need. It's hard enough for them to get there, so you want to make it as easy as possible. A church, a meeting center, a medical center, a library. Many places are willing to give meeting places for free. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get this going. RSDSA will maybe help some groups get up and running. We'll offer some assistance, some help, and support to keep them going. One of the things about running a support group is getting your name out there that you have the group and the information. RSDSA is very willing to list your information on our website to offer you some assistance in any way we can in promoting your group. You can also put your own website up, do Facebook. I actually sent letters to doctor's offices with a simple flyer that said I'm having a group, and that's how the first 5 people showed up. And that was 17 years ago, and we're still meeting today. You expand word of mouth. But having your name on RSDSA's website is a big help. People go there when they're looking for support and information, and they'll find your name, give you a call, and hopefully show up. In the model that I've set up for our support group that I run here in New Jersey, one of the things is you want to have as many people come to the group as possible. You have a support network of caregivers, family members. Invite them, bring them. Sometimes them meeting other people who are dealing with the same situation helps them as well as it helps you. Decide who you want to come to your group. Ours is open to medical professionals, family members, husbands, wives, children. Age appropriate is sometimes an issue, but you can always handle that. Sometimes coloring books are helpful. But it is, the more people that you can get to come, the better it is for the community. If you can teach one person, they teach another, and then they teach another, which then helps somebody out there who doesn't have the support yet. And when they reach out, you're there or someone else is there to help them. When you have a support group, you want everybody who's available in that person's life to come to the group. It's good for them. What they learn sometimes they can't get anywhere else from talking to somebody who's in the same situation, and that's not going to happen unless they come to the group. You'd be amazed at what people learn at these groups. Something simple as getting through the day, or a treatment they haven't heard of, or a doctor, or just a simple heating pad that's the greatest thing to get you through the day because of the pain. This is what some of the things you can express and learn, and that takes a group to do it. So bring whoever you can to the group, your community, your family, your spouses, your children. They need to learn. The more they learn, the more they can help, and the more it will help them. The medical community is somebody else. You want to invite them. You want to educate them. Bring your doctor, your physical therapist, your nurse, your practitioner, acupuncturist, nutritionist, whoever helps you get through your day. Have them come talk to other patients. Learn some of the things that you're talking about. Sometimes it gives them an insight into what you're dealing with that can help them, your treatment and your health and your care. Over the years, we've polled our group often. What's important to them? What do they want to hear about? It's not just the leader's choice, always what they need to hear about. We've had nutritionists, hypnotists. We even had self-defense for the disabled. That was actually a very fun class. Cooking classes, Social Security, medical. It's not always the serious medical doctor issue. There's so much that our life touches with this syndrome that you have to get through the day. It's anything that they need help with. How to cook, how to take care of your child, how to get through driving classes because you can no longer drive, how to travel. Anything that touches their life is something that's a great topic to have. And you'd be amazed at where you can get people to come from to speak. There's speakers groups at hospitals, at medical centers. Sometimes even cold calls will get somebody to come. There's a lot of help out there. RSDSA will help you as well, but there is help out there if you ask. It may seem a lot to run these meetings, but prior to my meetings, I've always found it helps to have a little something organized to go in. Read a magazine article, bring it in. Sometimes that would start the discussion. Sometimes the group will have their own issues, their own questions, but you always want to have something to break the ice, get them going, get them talking, and sometimes it's up to you to make that happen. It does become difficult sometimes to have nothing to discuss, so there's some great magazines out there, there's some great articles. RSDSA has a great database that we can help you get some information. And it is a great way, as I said, to break the ice, to get people talking, to get them to open up, and that's what you want them to do. You want them to talk about their issues, ask their questions. That's how we help each other. That's how we get this community to grow and keep it strong, is by doing that. When you start a support group, you'd be surprised at some of the minor costs that are going to come up. They might be small, they might be a little big, but there's help out there if you ask. You can do your own fundraising, you can ask for assistance, you can ask RSDSA for some assistance. They may be able to offer some direction on how to do this. But there's always people out there that are willing to donate stamps, paper, ink, anything that you need, technical assistance. Just have to be able to ask and know what you need. One of the things that was part of the model when I set up the group was ways to keep in touch and connect. We had a new member forum, and basically a new member would just give me whatever information they wanted, their phone number, address, cell number, email, and that's how I would stay in contact with them. Like I said, meeting notices, update of speakers, projects we're working on. Whether or not another member had a question, I could ask the entire group, and it was like this huge resource that you could question and get an answer back from those people that truly know what's going on and understand. It's a great way to reach out and help people. Most people over the years since I've been doing this, even those who have moved out of state, still respond to the emails I send regarding the group. They enjoy knowing what's going on with people they knew, people they spoke to during their difficult times, and some of them still stay in contact years later. It's a great tool to utilize to keep people to offer support to those people who need it. Especially, we know at CRPS we have those down days and those tough times. It's a great way to reach out. When you start your support group, you may want to determine you want to do some advocacy. It's up to you what you choose to do. You can contact RSDSA and we'll offer some assistance, offer some information, offer some direction. But when you can support the community and educate people, whether it be your community, the medical community, even somewhere to health fair, put out pamphlets, you help everyone who has CRPS. And that's part of the point of advocacy, is alerting everyone, getting the community to expand, understand what we're dealing with, how to treat us better, and hopefully find a way to make our lives better. But that's not going to happen if we don't spread the word. Figure out the best way for you to do it, and do it. Part of the pitfalls of running a group is it falls on you a lot in the beginning. Organization is going to get you through that. Having your meetings set up in advance, doing some pre-planning, having that pre-organization before you go into a meeting so you're ready when they look to you for something to discuss or something to talk, and they want to come back. They're not going to come back if every meeting is exactly the same, if every meeting is a woe is me. That's not why most of them are there. They're there to find a way, a better quality of life, a way to live with their CRPS, to make their life better, to make their family life better. We talk about sometimes just how to make dinner, a great recipe. They exchange recipes. This is all part what a support group can do. But don't take offense when somebody doesn't come back or they don't like the group. You can poll the group periodically and say, hey, are we going in the right direction? Do we have the right speakers? That's part of your job of running these groups and making them successful, is to do that. And that's why a team is so important. If this all falls on one person, it may break. If you have a team, at least somebody to talk to, call RSDSA. We'll talk to you. We'll send you some information. We'll help you get through the tough times. Maybe come up with an idea for a speaker or how to deal with a tough person in your group that's going through something that you're not sure how to handle. And that will come up. You will come up with people in your group that have stories and have issues that are beyond your experience. When people come to your group, they're going to be emotional. They might be happy they found the group. They may be so upset this is the first time they've met somebody else to tell their story. You're going to have people come to your group who have had it for years, have just been diagnosed. They're going to be all different stages, and you're going to have to learn to cope and deal with all of those issues. Sometimes it can be a little difficult. You may have crying, you may have upset, you may have issues. They need their time. They need their few minutes to get themselves together, to communicate what they need to communicate, and then you need to move on. Don't get upset when they get upset. And I'm not saying don't feel for them. You have to remain in control of the meeting. That's part of what you're doing as a facilitator, is giving everybody a chance to partake. And sometimes you have to tell them there's a time limit. You have 2 minutes, please tell your story. And if there's questions, they can go around the room and ask questions. But there are people who are there who also have their issues and their concerns they want to talk about. Don't be upset if somebody doesn't come back right away. Remember, they have CRPS like you do. They may not feel well that day. The weather might be bad. And I will tell you, after running a meeting for almost 17 years, when it rains or it snows, I know the turnout's going to be small. I'm aware of that. I don't try not to take offense, but I plan for that. And I know it's hard to plan for the weather, but you do be aware that that might have a difference in your turnout. Don't take it personally. Don't give up. Sometimes if somebody doesn't show up for a while, give them a call, email them, say, hey, what's up? They might be going through a really rough patch and not sure how to explain it or talk about it or what to deal or how to deal with it. That's what a support group's there to do. Don't cross the line, though. You can't help everybody. RSDSA has the links we're trying to put together with the various support group leaders. When you run into those difficult times, which will happen, contact us. We'll put you in contact with somebody that you can talk to or discuss it with so that you don't give up hope when it becomes a little overwhelming and a little weight on your shoulders. But we need those support groups. We don't want you to give up, so we're willing to give you whatever support we can to get you through those tough times. It is so important to keep these groups going. It is so worth it. I know it can seem scary and seem hard, but it is a tremendous thing to do. There's no feeling like it when you can run one of these groups and you can see the power that it has for the community. So please take the chance. Start a group. Contact us if you need help. It really, really matters.